Hey y'all, welcome to my channel or welcome back. Okay, so if you are returning, thank you so much. If you are new here, please think about subscribing, hitting that notification bell so that you'll know every time I upload a new video, and definitely stick around to see what we have in store for you today. All right, so for today's video, I'm super excited about this video today. This is the final video for where I was revamping my kitchen. The first video was the kitchen sink. The second video we did a coffee bar, and then this last video is just some stuff that I want to redo and put in my dining room area. All right, so other than that, I think we've got a couple other things that I wanted to tell y'all. The next video I have coming up, oh my gosh, I am doing a collaboration with Cat Luna from Cat Luna Designs. What? Oh my gosh, y'all, like, this is the most exciting thing that has totally ever happened to me, like, for real. Okay, other than like having my kids and meeting the love of my life. Yes, those are definitely my top, but I'm just saying, like, this is so super exciting. Oh my gosh. All right, so anyways, that will actually be my next video. That's going to be out next Tuesday, so y'all definitely make sure you've got that notification bell hit so that you will know whenever that video comes up. That will be going up at 3 o'clock next Tuesday, the 28th. Something else I wanted to be sure and tell y'all. Okay, so the chalk paint that I make, I've been showing y'all a couple different, like, in a couple different videos, I had actually talked about this chalk paint and how I messed it up the first time that I tried to make it because I did not get baby powder with talc in it. I just got regular baby powder. I didn't know there was a difference, whatever. Anyways, then in the next video, I think I told y'all, I showed you the, it's like 16 ounces of paint to 4 ounces of baby powder, a little less than 4 ounces of the baby powder. But I actually got that from Miss Holly on Hot Humble Pie. Now, her video, I'm going to try to have linked in the description box so that y'all can go check that out. She tells you everything about it. She shows the right way to make it, the wrong way to make it, different stuff that was used, like that were considered to be what you would make chalk paint out of, and she actually mixes those up and shows you the differences between like baking soda, baby powder, and one other thing, plaster of Paris maybe, something like that. Anyways, just one other thing. And I had actually mentioned that in the very first time that I was telling y'all about the chalk paint. I actually mentioned that I got it from Holly over on Hot Humble Pie, but I got a comment in the comments telling me that I had pretty much like stolen her recipe and was not giving her credit. So I apologize that I had not reiterated every single time that I was telling y'all about the chalk paint that it came from Miss Holly over at Hot Humble Pie, but it did. I want to make sure that that is definitely known, that I was not trying to take her recipe or anything like that. I wouldn't dare do something like that. I am so for supporting each other, women supporting women, men, it don't matter, just humans supporting other humans. I'm so for that I would not dare ever try to take somebody else's idea and make it my own. So I just wanted to make sure and put that out there for y'all. Anyways, other than that, I think that's it. And let's get right into the video. Also, for this first video here, we have got beads from Walmart, Waverly Antique Wax. I have got a wood round from Amazon, and the candle holder came from the Goodwill for like $1.99. Now, these wood rounds here are on Amazon. I could not figure out how to get the link to it to actually post in the description box. But now all you have to do is type in wood rounds and it'll pop up. There's like 12 inch, 14 inch. I believe these are a 12 inch. Anyways, you're going to take your wax. We're going to stain these wood rounds. Now I chose to do the, y'all know I've been crushing on the black stain here lately. I love it. But seeing as the candle holder was already stained with a brown look, and it kind of had like a shiny outside to it, so I assumed it had, you know, some kind of lacquer or something on it. So I decided not to have to go through sanding it and doing all that good stuff. So I did 2 of these wood rounds. We're going to put some beads in between them, but you're going to stain these 2 first. Once they're good and dry, now we're going to glue them to the, or glue one to the candle holder. And I just used hot glue. I didn't do E6000 or anything else with this time, because if I wanted to do something different, I'm always changing stuff. I mean, obviously y'all can tell I got so much stuff in my house. So anyways, I'm constantly changing stuff. So in order to be able to just continue to use my stuff and kind of revamp and do different stuff, I decided to just do hot glue. That way, if I wanted to take it off, it's no big deal. You know, I can do something different with it. So I just flipped it upside down, put it right in the middle of that wood round, held it down for a little bit. Now we're going to put our beads on. So I started out with super glue. I really thought that this would be best, and honestly, maybe wood glue would have been best. I'm not totally sure. I've never had any luck with wood glue, so I don't use wood glue very often. But so I tried with the super glue. That did not work out real well, so I ended up going in with the hot glue, which worked out fine. I just didn't want to have to use the hot glue because I really didn't want all that bulky glue and being able to see it and whatever, but it ended up turning out perfect. I love it. You really can't see the hot glue, and what parts of it that you can see, hey, it's homemade. It's not professional. It is homemade, but it is beautiful, and I love it. I left them raw, and there it is. I think it is so pretty. I love it. It's so different. It's so farmhouse. It's just, oh, it's so stinking cute. Look at that. I love it. And you really couldn't see the hot glue that bad. It's really not that bad. So stinking cute. And I can style this so many different ways. All right. So for this next one, I've got this canvas. It's very long, big canvas that was given to me. And this here is my inspiration. This is a tablecloth, or not a tablecloth. What am I trying to say? One of the little mat things. So anyways, placemat. That's what I was trying to say. So I took that canvas, and it was kind of roughed up a little bit. It had some bad places in it. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to spray paint it and give it kind of a base coat. And then I'll go in with my chalk paint. So that's what I did. Spray painted that big canvas, went in with my chalk paint, just gave it a pretty good coat of the chalk paint. What I'm wanting to do is paint it to be shiplap. That's what I actually wanted for my background. We're going to be making a sign, and it's going to have some wording. So I wanted a good background because this is going to be a really big piece. This is like the focal point of my dining room. So after I got that chalk paint on there real good, I waited till it dried. Then I'm going to go in with my gray. Now this gray paint is just some gray that I mixed up. It's white chalk paint, black chalk paint, and I just mixed it to the color that I wanted. So I'm just dry brushing over the paint right now, the white paint right now. Just kind of hitting at the sides, making sure I get that real good. Just trying to give it that rustic, roughed up look. Now it did start, it would hit, and you could see where the frame was, because this canvas was so big, it actually had two like support beam deals in the back. Not beams, but y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Anyway, so as you can see there, it would kind of catch those. You could see that, but we're gonna fix that. That's not a big deal at all. So I just kind of heavy-handedly just dry brushed that on, went in with my silver lining and dry brushed right over the top of it. Just giving it that weathered shiplap look. We're going to put the lines on here in just a minute, but I wanted to get my base done, you know. More or less what you're doing is blending these colors in until it looks like you want it to look. That is exactly what you're doing. So I took a yardstick, black paint, and a very fine, like square tipped paintbrush, and did my lines. As you can see there, it's a real fine, like square tipped paintbrush. That's what I used. I like those when you're trying to do, you know, sharp, straight lines and whatever. So I just put my lines on there, and then I went back through and did some vertical lines. So it actually would look like pieces of wood. This thing turned out so sharp. Oh my gosh. It's absolutely my favorite DIY that I've ever done. I think I say that in like every video, but I'm being dead serious this time. This is literally my absolute favorite. I've been wanting one of these rope signs for a while, and I'm so glad that I decided to do it. Do y'all ever have, tell me in the comments, do y'all ever have like crafts that you want to do and you know you can do, but you feel overwhelmed by them for some reason? Like, and then you just don't ever get it done? Yeah, I have some of those. And this right here is probably one of those. So I'm so proud that I went ahead and really did this. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that sometimes I'll feel like, gosh, I might mess it up, or, well, it may not turn out right. And then I end up not doing it. So I love this. I think it turned out great, and I'm going to go with it. It's definitely going in my dining room. All right, so once I got my lines on there, I went back in with that silver lining and just kind of lightened those lines up. It really does look like wood. It turns out really, really sharp. See there, I'm just going back, dry brushing over the top of some of those lines, just so they're not so stark black, you know, and you can tell that they've been painted on there. Really turned out sharp. All right, so I drew the word gather across this. That's what it's going to say. But we're actually going to be filling in where I drew the word with rope. So I don't have where I actually was drawing the word. I don't have that video because I literally like laid across this thing to make sure that every single letter was perfectly straight. And, you know, I mean, this thing's going on my wall, so you really couldn't see anything. I actually videoed it, and then whenever I started editing, it was like, oh, Lord. All you can see is the back of my head and my shoulders, like, in the whole thing. So, anyways, I drew my word on there, got it like I wanted it. Then I'm going to take my rope, and this is just that, like, thistle rope, I think is what you call it. I got it off of Amazon also. So I'm just following the lines that I drew. And if you can see there's like double lines on a little bit of each letter. That's actually your downstroke is what that's called in calligraphy, I think. Now, I may be saying this wrong, but the way I took it in calligraphy is there's a downstroke and it gets like a double line. So what we're going to do is go back and fill that in with more rope so that it's got that thicker line still. So I just literally went all the way around this thing. I would cut it where I needed to, start a new line, you know, tried to kind of follow it as best I could. See how I've doubled up the lines there? We're just adding rope inside that double line so that you cannot see any of the ink. I don't want you to be able to see any of the writing. So like I said, I just kind of put it up there, measured it off, see what I needed, cut it, tuck it down in there. Y'all, this was so easy. I cannot believe I hadn't already done this, actually, because I've really been wanting something like this. I saw a video, Glue Guns and Roses. She did a sign. It was a home. It said home. And she actually wrote her letters out on, I think it was craft paper, and then put glue all over the top of them so they would harden. And then actually put it on her wall. And it says home. And it is so pretty. Like, that was pretty much my inspiration. I saw that video long time ago. Look at that, y'all. Oh, my gosh. It's so perfect. I absolutely love this. Like, for real, this is my favorite DIY. Love it. And it's a good size piece, too, y'all. Very, very cute. That rope turned out so perfect. I did have to trim it a little, like trim some of the flyaways off of it, but I tried to do the lighter thing. That didn't work out real well, so I just trimmed it with scissors. All right, so this next one, super simple once again. I've got sponge brushes. Now, I use my old sponge brushes, and I'll just kind of tear the tip off of them so that I can use those kind of like the way people use the makeup sponges, but I just use my old sponges that have had it. So I have got a spoon and a fork that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to galvanize and age these. So the first thing I'm doing is giving them a solid coat of my folk art silver metallic paint, and I just give both of them, I believe I did 2 coats on these actually, top to bottom, just all over. I completely cover these with the silver. It just kind of dulls down. I mean, they're already silver, but this is a different shade of silver, I guess, because it kind of dulls it down. See? All right, so once that dried, I did my 2 coats of that, let that dry. Now I'm going to go in with burnt umber, and that is by Apple Barrel. It's just a brown, like rusty color. I just go around the edges, get that real good. Made a couple spots here and there, you know, just kind of randomly place some of it just so that it really looks aged. This works out so good. I tell you, if you're going to age something, burnt umber by Apple Barrel paint and Waverly wax are 2 of the best things I've ever used to age something, to galvanize and rust something. I've done quite a few projects now and used them, and it works out great. All right, so this bottom piece here, this wood piece, I actually stained it with my black stain, but it just wasn't as dark as what I wanted it to be. It dried a lot lighter than what I was hoping for. So I wanted the spoon and the fork to really stand out off of this. So I ended up going back in and darkening this up. But that lavender there I got from the Dollar Tree. It was actually in a little dewy like that. And I just pulled the stems out of it. It got me like 6 pieces, I think, to use. But that little wood piece I got from Walmart for like $6. It's just a pallet sign, I think is what it was called. But it was super cheap. $5-6, something like that at Walmart. So what I did was I just added more paint to my already watered down paint. I took that bottle that I'm shaking there when it was done, when it was almost empty, and added water to make myself some black stain. Well, when I stained this, it just did not come out as dark as I wanted it. So I ended up adding some more paint. That's what I was actually doing there. So I've just got an old sock. Just rub it in real good. And now remember, when you're staining something, it's not going to be as dark as what it looks when the paint is wet. Definitely not on the wood like that, because it dries. You know, that wood soaks up most of that moisture, and it dries a lot lighter than what you're looking at right now. I think it's beautiful though. Look at that wood grain with that black. I love it, y'all. I am totally crushing on the black stain. All right, so this is what we got. And yes, I did do my staining on the table. Didn't even think about it, just went at it. So thank goodness it cleans up very easily. I just took a baby wipe, wiped my little station down there. We're back in business. All right, so I'm going to take these, the fork and the spoon. I want them on the sides, and then I'm going to put my lavender in the middle. I just kind of positioned the fork and the spoon, got it like I wanted it on the board, and then I just hot glued them on. That way, once again, if I decide to do something different, I can pop these off and still use that wood piece. I hate them darn hot glue webs. Ugh, they're a pain in the butt. All right, so once I get that on the way I want it, now I'm going to take my lavender, and I want to put it in the middle. So I decided I would take some twine and just wrap around it. And at first, I was just going to wrap it around a couple times, tie me like a little shoestring knot, and go with it. But once I had wound it around a couple times, I realized that it looked pretty cute like that, and I wanted to go all the way down the stem. So that's what you'll see me do here in just a minute. I'm just kind of twisting it behind itself and then pulling it back around. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it would look super cute with more of the twine. So that's what I ended up doing. I just ended up wrapping this dude up with the twine, getting it down there at the bottom. Yeah, I'll add a little hot glue here in just a minute. Burn the far out of my hand. I did, y'all. Oh, my word. Yeah, there you go. Burnt my fingers pretty good. Where's my little purple mat? Oh my gosh, when I need it. All right, so I just wrapped it around there like I said. Got to the end there, wrapped another piece so that it would kind of stay on. I just snipped that off and then added me just a little hot glue and held it down with the scissors this time. I was not fixing to do it with my fingers again. This turns out so cute. I really do love this. This reminds me of something that would have been like in my grandmother's house or like my great-grandmother's house. So I really like this. This is really special. So, of course, I had to fiddle with it and get my leaves or my flowers, the lavender, just like I wanted it. Place it up there. I just hot glued it right to the board just like the rest. Just a little bead there straight down it. Did not like where it was, so I pulled it back up real quick. Oh. I think this really turned out cute. Really did. So once I got it on there, I thought, dang, I forgot to do the darn shoestring bow because I wanted it to have a little bow. I mean, duh. So I just tied me a string around one of those sticks that the sponge brush came off of. Made me a little knot, tied a little bow, and hot glued that dude on there. Turns out so cute. Look at that. Y'all, oh my gosh. I just love it. So stinking cute. I'm telling y'all, that burnt umber to galvanize and age, it actually rusted, I should say, not galvanize. Using that burnt umber to rust silver is just fantastic. It works so good. All right, so this next one I'm so super proud of. I love this. I saw this on Pinterest. These things are selling like crazy. This is called a cloche. Now, I looked this up, even looked up the definition and how to say it so that I wouldn't sound stupid. Anyways, a cloche. C-L-O-C-H-E. Now, that's how this is spelled. So, anyways, I have got that. What I'm painting there is one of those candle holder dish deals from the Dollar Tree. I also had that vase from the Dollar Tree. I have a knob that I got from a thrift store, and then I've got my little succulent there. Y'all see where we're going with this? Dude, it turns out so pretty. I love this. So I just add my metallic folk art silver metallic paint to both the candle holder dish and the knob there, because I'm going to age and distress these also. I want this to look galvanized. I wanted one of these cloches, but I wanted it to be Farmhouse. So I just did the best of both worlds and added it together. I think it's so stinking cute though. Oh my gosh. And these things sell for super, okay? Like you can get one at Target for $7.99, a small one. You can get one at West Elm for $220 if you would like, because I really looked these dudes up. I think they're so neat. So I'll be making another one of these for sure. I'm definitely going to be on the hunt for globes. That's for sure. So cloche goes back to the 1600s, and it is actually French for bell. Uh-oh, Jackie done looked some stuff up. I sure did, y'all. Oh my goodness. I did, though. I really wanted to know about this because it's just so pretty. And it's really popular right now. These things are really, like, they're a hot item for sure. So after I got that galvanized and rusted like I wanted it, I took some twine and just wrapped around the bottom of this vase. The bottom is going to actually be the top of this, obviously. So I just twist it, make a knot, turn it around, twist it, make a knot, turn it around, twist it, make a knot. Just kind of keep going around it like that, as you see there. So once I got it on as many wraps around as I wanted, I just tied a little shoestring knot, cut my tips off, Now, I glued this knob on with super glue. I didn't want to do hot glue because I was afraid you'd be able to see it through the glass. So that's why I did the super glue. Now, I just took that succulent and stuck it straight down on that little terracotta pot, and that's all she wrote. So as you see there, like every other DIY I do, something has to go wrong. So I had to re-glue it, of course. But look at that. Y'all, it's so sharp. Oh my gosh. I just am in love with this thing. I think it is so neat looking. Love it. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. I just love it. So pretty. I'm glad they're popular right now because I really do like them. All right, this next one, I have got some Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree. I only use 4. I've got this wooden plaque from the Dollar Tree. I also have this little cow that was actually on a garden stake, and I just took the stake off of it. He was only $1, y'all. That big old cow was only $1. I could not believe it. So I just took the stake off of him, and we are going to use him in a completely different way. So as normal, I'm going to stain this with my black stain. Everything is cohesive in my house, okay? Like, it all matches. So the majority of it right now has the black stain because I'm just loving everything with black stain. Yes. Some people paint everything white. I guess I stain everything black. I don't know. So anyways, I'm going to take this candle holder, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to distress it with my white chalk paint. I'm just going to pop at it, hit at it. I've got a kind of stiff brush that I'm using, and I just kind of pop at it all over. Stipple, maybe that's the word I'm supposed to use instead of pop at it. I don't know. Either way, I got the paint on there, got it looking like I wanted it to. I also went over the words on the cow that said Farmer's Market there, just to kind of dull them down a little bit. Of course, I got to take the tag off. Lord have mercy, let's not mini pearl again, you know? My goodness. Anyways, all right. So once I got all the hardware off of it, got the tag off, I'm going to take that wooden plaque and glue it to the candle holder. Now, once I did that, it looked kind of funny because it was a little more solid black. So I took my brush and just kind of wiped over it and kind of, you know, just kind of weathered it a little bit. So we're going to take those Jenga blocks, which I did stain black also, and we're going to stand this cow up on this little pedestal. Right? So cute. Oh my gosh. And he was only $1. Like, what? So I glued the Jenga blocks straight to this cow's legs. Bless him. Put it right on there, as you see there. Just a little bit of hot glue. I didn't want it seeping out. Of course, I'm the world's worst about putting too much darn hot glue on everything. I do. I really do. I know I do. All right. So once I got that glued, I just added a little hot glue to the bottom of those 2 Jenga blocks. Pop him down right down on that pedestal, and I'll be darned if we ain't got a cute, cute cow. Go over my Jenga blocks just a little bit with that white paint. Make sure everything looks just right. And there you go. Is that not cute? Like, come on now. Oh my gosh. I love this. I think it's neat. It's different. Those barn animals that are up on the pedestals right now are going for a ridiculous amount of money. So to make this for like $3 was awesome. All right. So this next one here, we're going to be doing a windmill. I've been wanting to do something with this windmill deal that I got from, it did have a welcome sign on it. I got it from the Dollar Tree. The dowels right there I got from the Dollar General store, the thicker ones. And then the bamboo sticks, I believe Dollar Tree or Dollar General one, but whatever, vice versa, I don't know. Anyways, I have got my galvanizing paints. I'm going to be using that same folk art silver. I'm going to be using some black chalk paint, and I'm also going to be using the burnt umber. So what I did was take the welcome sign part off of it. I am going to take some hot glue, add me one of my dowels, Just kind of hold it for a minute, get it in place. I wanted it to stand up on its own. I mean, I've seen people make home signs with them. I've seen people put them in picture frames. I've seen a lot of different stuff with them, but I just really didn't want that. I just kind of wanted to do something different, kind of challenge myself a little bit. So as you see here, when I go to put on the other leg, the first one that I put on pops off. So I'm like, okay, hot glue is not going to do this. This is not going to work with the darn hot glue. Of course, I like to do everything with hot glue because it's easy. But, all right, so I get out my beading wire. Same thing as kind of like floral wire, but it's really thin. So normally when I use it, I always double it up. I just take it in my fingers like that, twist it around, and now you've got a thicker, more sturdy piece of wire. So I just literally, after I had let the hot glue set, go around this and twist it off, pull it tight, go around it, twist it off, and now that thing's not going nowhere. It's on there tight with this wire. And the wire looks fine because this is fixing to look old and rusty and just metal, so it doesn't really matter that it's got the wire on there. It kind of goes with it anyway. So I did go ahead and add a little hot glue to the other side before I put the wire on, just for a little extra support. Then I'm going to take that wire just like I did before. I'm just crisscrossing it in the front and pulling it around to the back. All right, so for that middle section, I hot glue it once again, but I do it on the outside this time, not on the inside. That way I can add some wire to the top of that. I'll be able to wire it to the top there. But in order to keep that from wanting to fall down, I took that Jenga block and placed it right in the middle and then glued it to both the metal piece that was on the windmill and also to that particular leg, that middle leg. All right, so to make it look even more like a realistic windmill, I took some the skewers, the bamboo skewers, and I'm just measuring them off as I go, snipping them, cutting. You can cut these with scissors. I mean, you don't need like snips. I did use snips, but you don't have to have that. I just placed those on there where I wanted them, what I thought kind of looked more like a real windmill, and then I painted the entire thing with my silver paint. I even went over the windmill with it. I actually painted it twice. I gave it 2 coats of the silver. Now I'm fixing to go in with all 3 of these. The black, the burnt umber, and the metal. There's my sponge brushes again. And I use sponge brushes for lots of DIY, so I've always got like an old one handy, you know. They don't wash real good. They don't, especially if you put Mod Podge and stuff like that, and that's what I mostly like to use them for is Mod Podge. It don't wash out real good, so... Anyways, all right, so I just ripped that one there in half to make me 3. See, I've got very little paint on there, and I'm even dabbing some of it off before I start hitting this thing. All right, so I'm going right where every little bit of hot glue is, just to make it almost look like it's welded, you know, give it that kind of welded look, and then where it has rusted over the years, that's what we're going for here. So anywhere that this thing would normally rust on its own, that's where I'm hitting with this burnt umber. All around the windmill itself, along the edges of the windmill, the insides of them, I really, just kept on at the edges there, as you can see. It's not a lot, but it's enough to give it that aged look. This thing turns out cool. I think it's neat. Definitely Farmhouse. It is neat. It's not something I thought that I would really want in my house, but I like it. I think it goes very well with the theme that I've got going on, and it's just a cool, like, little piece. It is definitely different. I like it a lot. All right, guys, and there is the entire set together. Part 3, revamping the dining room. All of these pieces are going to go in my dining room, and I cannot wait. I think it turned out really, really good. I'm super proud of these DIYs. It's different when you're doing DIYs that you know you're going to keep and they're for yourself, because then that pressure of like messing them up is not so bad. Because if you mess it up, you can just keep doing it, you know, just figure it out, whatever, because it's going in your own house, so it's okay. But, and I tell you what, that gather sign is just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. So what do you think? I love it. I'm so proud of everything. I think it turned out fantastic. Okay, so let me know in the comments what was your favorite. My favorite personally was the gather sign. The rope with the gather. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of that. I love it. I think it turned out so great. It's such a good piece. I mean, it's good size and just takes up a lot of the wall, and I just love it. I love it so much. Okay, so y'all check me out over on Instagram. I'm trying to build my Instagram page right now, and it's going pretty well. So definitely check me out over there. I enjoy Instagram. It's a good way to connect. So it's bless.beyond.measure.crafts. Definitely check me out over there. If you are not subscribed, please do so. That would be awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely hit that notification bell so that you'll know each time I upload a new video. And I guess that's it. Thank y'all so very much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day.